Why is it that so many relationships end not because love is gone, but because we've forgotten how to see the person we fell in love with? Before you make that final decision, before you walk away from something that once meant everything to you, pause. Or what you're about to hear might change everything. You're exhausted. The arguments feel endless, the connection feels lost, and you're wondering if this is just how it's going to be forever. She seems different now, distant, maybe even hostile. The woman who used to light up when you walked into the room now barely looks up from her phone. The conversations that used to flow effortlessly have turned into tactical negotiations about groceries and schedules. You're thinking maybe it's time to give up. Maybe you're just not compatible anymore. But here's what nobody tells you about relationships that have lost their spark. What you're seeing isn't who she really is. What you're experiencing isn't the death of your connection. It's the symptom of something much deeper, something that can be healed if you're willing to look beneath the surface. Think about the last time you really saw her, not glanced at her while scrolling through your phone, not observed her while mentally planning your next move in an argument. When did you last truly see her? When did you last notice the way her eyes change when she's thinking deeply, or how she unconsciously touches her hair when she's nervous? When did you last pay attention to her as if you were meeting her for the first time? The truth is, we stop seeing the people we love most. We create mental shortcuts, assumptions about who they are and what they need. We start responding to our idea of them rather than the real person standing in front of us. And when someone feels unseen, when they feel reduced to a collection of roles and responsibilities, they start to shut down. They start to protect themselves. They become defensive, distant, sometimes even mean. She's not trying to hurt you. She's trying to survive in a relationship where she feels invisible. You fell in love with her curiosity, her laugh, the way she saw the world differently than you did. You loved her opinions, even when you disagreed. You loved her dreams, her fears, her weird little habits that made her uniquely her. But somewhere along the way, you stopped being curious about her. You stopped asking questions. You stopped being surprised by her answers. Instead, you started expecting. You expected her to be happy when you came home. You expected her to want the same things you wanted. You expected her to handle emotions the way you handle emotions. You expected her to love the way you love, communicate the way you communicate, and show appreciation the way you show appreciation. But she's not you. She never was you. And the moment you stopped being fascinated by those differences is the moment your relationship started dying. Here's what happens when someone feels chronically misunderstood. They stop trying to be understood. They stop sharing the deeper parts of themselves because every time they do, they feel like they're speaking a language you don't want to learn. They start to believe that who they really are isn't worth your attention. So they give you a smaller version of themselves, a safer version, a version that won't risk disappointment. That distant, difficult person you're living with, that's not who she is. That's who she becomes when she feels like she has to shrink herself to fit into your expectations. Before you give up, try this. For 1 week, become curious about her again. Not curious about whether she's going to change. Not curious about whether she's going to meet your needs better. Curious about who she actually is right now, in this moment, behind all the walls she's built. Ask her a question you don't know the answer to. Not about the schedule, not about practical things, but about her inner world. What's she been thinking about lately? What's she been worried about? What's making her excited? What's she been wanting to tell you but hasn't found the words for? And here's the crucial part. When she answers, listen, like you're hearing her voice for the first time. Don't listen for what you want to hear. Don't listen for confirmation of your theories about what's wrong with the relationship. Listen to understand her, not to respond. Listen to discover something new about this person you thought you knew completely. Watch what happens to her face when she realizes you're actually listening. Watch how her body language changes when she feels seen. Watch how the woman you fell in love with starts to emerge from behind the walls she's built. Most relationships don't end because people stop loving each other. They end because people stop paying attention to each other. They end because we get so focused on what we're not getting that we forget to see what we're not giving. We get so focused on how she's changed that we forget how we've changed too. You want her to be more affectionate? When's the last time you were affectionate without expecting anything in return? You want her to be more interested in your day? When's the last time you asked about hers with genuine curiosity? You want her to appreciate you more? When's the last time you appreciated something about her that had nothing to do with what she does for you? The woman you're thinking about giving up on is still there. She's still the person who has dreams that have nothing to do with you, fears that keep her up at night, thoughts that would surprise you if you took the time to ask about them. She's still the person who chose you, who saw something in you worth building a life with. But she's also the person who's been trying to get your attention, your real attention, for longer than you probably realize. She's been sending signals, making bids for connection, showing you parts of herself that you might have missed because you were too busy being frustrated about what wasn't working. Before you walk away, before you decide this is just how it is, try seeing her again. Try being curious again. Try asking questions you don't know the answers to. Try listening to understand rather than to judge. Try appreciating who she is right now, not just who you want her to become. The relationship you're thinking about ending might not be broken. It might just be waiting for both of you to start paying attention again. It might be waiting for both of you to remember that love isn't just a feeling you fall into. It's a choice you make every day to see, to hear, to value the person standing in front of you. She's worth one more try. You're worth one more try. What you built together is worth the effort it takes to truly see each other again. Before you give up on her, give her the gift of your genuine curiosity. Give her the gift of feeling seen. You might be amazed by who you discover.